Welcome everyone to a new video. This is Iman and I would like to share my experience with reading. Hopefully it's gonna inspire you and give you a new perspective about your intention with reading. So I had a couple of questions and I thought instead of just doing an Arabic version, I will do an English one as well, very short and focused. Because I actually had a moment of reflection that I actually found that reading had a bigger impact on me than I thought. So why am I reading? So my intention initially was to improve my English and learn mostly from self-development books. But then there was a period of time that I stopped reading and realized that I do miss it. I do miss the tranquility it gives me. So I found that whenever I'm stressed or overwhelmed or overthinking a certain topic, um, just thinking about it doesn't help. So when I pick a book and I start reading, I actually feel calm, my body feels calm, and usually you find inspiration in that book that actually help you have a new perspective on the situation. So then the intention changed from learning to meditation, at least for me. Um, and I think it's very important that we get clear about the intention we have with reading, so we can also benefit from it a lot, but also change our relationship with books, and also the choices we have when we buy books. Then, what impact did it have? Apart from having that meditative state, I think it helps with focus and concentration. It helps with improving your listening skills. This might sound funny because, yeah, well, I'm reading the book. How come I'm listening? Well, as you actually read, you are listening to the author, to someone talking to you. And it doesn't need to be an audiobook. I'm really talking about a paper book. And that kind of space you have between reading and understanding and feeling like the author is talking to you, it does actually help you with improving your listening skills. So when you are out with people, you have that space where you're listening to listen or to understand, and not listening to answer what they are saying or respond to them immediately. Another one is the fact that it helps you focus on the positive and the meaningful and the interesting, and that those ideas that align with yours. And I think this also relates to having acceptance for other human beings. Because the book is from a person, from a human being, and it's not perfect, just as the person is not perfect. So when you read the book and you focus on the positive and the parts that are interesting to you, that's an attitude you kind of cultivate towards other human beings in your environment. And through that, you also have less judgment about them, because reading a book, mostly you also read about the history of the person, or his childhood and details of life, that it make you become compassionate towards him, because even though he had experienced all these things, he was able to overcome it, he was able to share his story, he was able to bring something meaningful to this world. The last one that I wasn't really aware of, but I had this feedback lately that I'm able to not only aware of my emotions, but I'm able to express them. And I stopped for a moment to really think, like, where did it come from? Because I was not a person who was able to talk about her emotions, not even in journaling. And then I realized that reading novels helped me so much to express myself, be aware of my emotions, able to name those emotions. And then came the journaling, which is part of my morning ritual, where actually I kind of get inspired by how a novelist had written the story, that I could actually apply to my journaling, which actually became a way of expressing myself. And I can't I can't be enough grateful for coaching for even making that better and better. And in here, I would really want to to just that parents are aware of this. I know that there is a hype of reading self-help books because you want to develop yourself, but don't forget that part of learning the skills, emotional intelligence, is very important. Our jobs depend on it, our relationships depend on it. Help being able to express yourself and be your true self, and communicate that to another person, and in the same time being able to understand them and give them that space to express themselves. Because if we just go on communication to understand the things that are not said, usually we make assumptions, we judge the other person, and we just can't get along with the other person through that. So if you're a parent, encourage your children to also read novels, and maybe if you think that novel is not to a certain level they can read, maybe if you can find a paragraph that talks about emotions and how to express them, or it's being really expressed in a very nice way, read it for them. So at least they learn how to express themselves. I think that's very important. Another question usually is, how do you commit to reading consistently? I think once you build a relationship with books, it becomes like your friend you want to have coffee with. So you usually go grab a book by yourself. But if you would like to build this habit, then I would advise to do something I learned from the 5 a.m. club, and that is in the morning, after you do your reflection ritual, exercising, do the reading part. So instead of learning from a podcast or a video, read a chapter from a book, or just give yourself 20 minutes to read a part. It doesn't need to be a paragraph, a chapter, but a couple of pages in those 20 minutes. And if you do it daily, you're gonna build a relationship with the books, not only the habit, and you will commit to it. You will miss it and you will go by yourself. What books do I read? I have a combination of things. Most of them are self-help books. So I read on spirituality, money mindset, relationships, coaching, and I read novels as well. So I thought to share some of the books that if you are starting to read, you might want to try them. So as I said, novels are great. I have a couple of here, and I like Elif Shafak. I read most of her books, and I like Jojo Moyes. She has the novel of Me Before You. It's also a movie. I like how she writes her books, and so if you want to have a story kind of book, still a self-help book, then Robin Sharma is the one. This one is amazing and very nice. This one is also really nice, but for me it was a bit challenging because it's more like the monk kind of lifestyle. So it kind of became a little bit high standard or superficial in a way, but this one is a must read. So if you want to start your money mindset game, then this one is really nice. It's very short, very simple, and has tons of wisdom. This one is really nice, short, straightforward, discusses the subconscious mind, gives tips on how to really how to connect with yourself, own your journey. For the women out there, the boss ladies, this is a good one for you. And this one, if you're starting to read, Big Magic is also nice. It's simple, straight, and it helps you with your fears. I think that's everyone's challenge. And if you ask me about my favorite book, then I would say A Return to Love. This one is spiritual, but I like how it combines our everyday challenges with spirituality. And it's a go-to whenever I need a boost. I like to read it again. Yeah, and somehow, as I said, you build a relationship with books, so you actually get the right book at the right time. At least that's my experience. Sometimes I buy books that I heard repetitively, that I'm like, okay, this one kept coming across, so I might just get it. But reading them is really on flow. Whenever I finish a book, I just go through the shelf, and then I pick one, and it's actually the right time for it. And somehow, for me, they build up. It's like a book preparing you for the other, and I found that very nice. So I hope this helps, inspires you, gives you a new perspective on reading. If you're not reading, I hope it encourages you to try. And thank you so much for listening.